Great music you need to know about. In this day and age, there are so many artists who are not known. In this article I will detail various artists, whether they are classic greats who impacted music and artists, the world over, and across generations. Like AC/DC Elvis Presley, Lynyrd Skynyrd. Or they are unique artists who create music that is uncommon in this time. Like Sabaton, Corpse Husband, or Wind Rose. This is not a top list, just a collection of singers and groups I want to talk about. The list will be alphabetical, but only so that I can reduce the risk of putting them into the article multiple times. Please excuse any mispronunciations by TTS. The English TTS has trouble with non-English words. But, if you watch Zentreya, you should be fine. As a result of YouTube's rules pertaining to links in descriptions, I will be adding site details to the video.
David John Matthews is an American musician and the lead vocalist, songwriter, and guitarist for the Dave Matthews Band. DMB. Matthews was born in Johannesburg, and moved frequently between South Africa, the United Kingdom, and the United States while growing up. He started playing acoustic guitar at the age of 9. From 1991 to 2003, Matthews predominantly focused on songwriting and performing with the Dave Matthews Band, which he started in Charlottesville, Virginia, in 1991. He also has done various solo performances and produced other records. During the period from 2000 to 2010, his band toured constantly, selling more tickets and earning more money than any other act in North America. The band's 2012 album Away from the World made them the only group to have 6 consecutive studio albums debut at number 1 on the Billboard charts. This record was extended to 7 consecutive number 1 albums with the 2018 release, Come Tomorrow. In addition to music, Matthews has had multiple acting roles. He has also won 2 Grammy Awards. One with the Dave Matthews Band in 1997 for Best Rock Vocal Performance by a Duo or Group. So Much to Say. And one in 2004 for Best Male Rock Vocal Performance. Gravedigger from his solo album. Early life. David John Matthews was born on the 9th of January, 1967 in Johannesburg, the third of 4 children born to South African parents, John and Val Matthews. At age 2, Matthews moved with his family to Yorktown Heights, New York, where his father, a physicist, started working for IBM. In 1974, the Matthews family moved to Cambridge, England, for a year, then returned to New York, where his father died from lung cancer in 1977 when Matthews was 10 years old. At some point, while residing in New York, Matthews attended his first concert, when his mother took him to a performance by Pete Seeger. The family returned to Johannesburg in 1977. Matthews naturalized as a U.S. citizen in 1980. Upon Matthews's graduation from secondary school in 1985, he was faced with conscription into the South African military just as civil disobedience to the practice was becoming widespread. As a Quaker, and consequently pacifist, Matthews left South Africa to avoid service. Matthews moved to New York in 1986 where he worked for IBM for a short time, then joined his mother that same year in Charlottesville, Virginia, a town Matthews's family had lived in before he was born. In Charlottesville, he became part of the local music community, rehearsing in a warehouse owned by Rulork Toledano. Although Matthews had started playing the guitar at age 9, it was only in Charlottesville that he started performing publicly. Matthews met local star and future collaborator Tim Reynolds through mutual friend, Nic Capon. In time, Reynolds had Matthews join him on stage, and Matthews was persuaded to record some of his own songs. This led to his first professional musical gig at a modern dance performance by the Mickey List Dance Company, based at McGuffey Arts Center in Charlottesville, singing Meaningful Love, composed by John D. Earth and Dawn Thompson. In 1991, he hatched the idea to form his own band. Before recording his first demo, Matthews bartended at Miller's in Charlottesville. Formation of Dave Matthews Band. After writing his first few songs, including I'll Back You Up, the song that Jane likes, and recently, Matthews formed Dave Matthews Band in early 1991 with Leroy Moore, Carter Beauford, Stefan Lessard, Peter Grazer, who left the band in 1993, and Boyd Tinsley while working at Miller's as a bartender. The band's first show was on the 14th of March, 1991, as part of a benefit for the Middle East Children's Alliance at Trax nightclub in Charlottesville, Virginia. Matthews's older sister Anne, who lived in South Africa, was murdered by her husband in early 1994. Her husband then died by suicide on or around the 27th of January of that year. The event had a profound effect on Matthews's outlook on life and was referenced in a few of his songs. On the 29th of January, 1994, he performed with Tim Reynolds at the Wetlands in New York, where he dedicated that performance to her memory. Dave Matthews Band's Under the Table and Dreaming, released later that year, was dedicated to her. Anne Matthews was survived by her 2 children, and they traveled to the United States following her death. Dave and his younger sister Jane, after whom the Dave Matthews Band song, the song that Jane likes, is named, took responsibility for the children's upbringing. Other musical work. Matthews focused primarily on songwriting and performances with Dave Matthews Band from 1990 to 2003. The band's sound blends acoustic guitar, bass, saxophone, drums and violin. In 1994, DMB signed with RCA Records. Since that period, he has occasionally ventured outside the band in various solo performances and records. Matthews sang on the track Sing Along on Blue Man Group's second album The Complex in 2003. Later that year he released the solo album Some Devil, which went platinum. Its single Gravedigger won a Grammy Award in 2004. To support the album, Matthews toured with a group of musicians, many of whom performed on Some Devil under the name Dave Matthews and Friends. Dave often collaborates with banjoist Bela Fleck. Fleck is the frontman and namesake of Bela Fleck and the Flecktons. Matthews appears as guest vocalist with the band on their 1998 release, Left of Cool. Both Fleck and the Flecktons' bassist Victor Wooten have made numerous live appearances and in studio with the Dave Matthews Band. Wooten soloed in the second part of the Daniel Lanois song The Maker, and also in Hash 41 on the 1998 live album Live in Chicago. The Flecktons also opened for DMB on several tours. Matthews performed a duet with Emla Harris on My Antonia on her 2000 album Red Dirt Girl. They also appeared together on the musical television show CMT Crossroads, where the two performed Matthews's Gravedigger, and the folk song Long Black Veil. Matthews played a cover of Neil Young's song, The Needle and the Damage Done, at the 2010 Tribute Musicares Person of the Year, honoring Young on the 29th of January 2010. The Dave Matthews Band opened for the Rolling Stones on their Bridges to Babylon tour, and Matthews sang Wild Horses and Memory Motel with Mick Jagger. Acting. Before he was known as a musician, Dave Matthews was an amateur actor, appearing on stage in several productions at Charlottesville's Offstage Theatre and Live Arts Theatre in the early 1990s. The role for which he is best remembered is as a used car salesman in Offstage Theatre's Just Say No, directed by John Quinn, co-starring Kylie Sucher. He played Will Coleman in the 2003 adaptation of the novel Where the Red Fern Grows. In 2005, he played in Because of Winn-Dixie as Otis, a man who works at a pet store and plays guitar. In 2007, Matthews appeared briefly in the movie I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, where he plays a homosexual salesman. In 2008, he appeared in the Adam Sandler movie You Don't Mess with the Zohan as a racist redneck character named James. He also had a significant role in Lake City with Sissy Spacek and Troy Garrity, in which he portrays the character Red. He was in one movie in 2011, the Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston comedy Just Go With It. In 2007, Matthews guest starred in the medical drama series House in the episode Half-Wit. He played a piano-playing musical savant who had the two hemispheres of his brain severed from each other in order to recover from his epilepsy, but at the expense of his musical abilities. Dave had a piano double for the complex pieces, but played the simpler pieces himself. In the Season 1 episode of House, Love Hurts, the song Some Devil can be heard playing at the end. In another episode, one of the tracks from Stand Up, You Might Die Trying was played in the Season 5 episode, Not Cancer. The fifth time Matthews appeared as musical guest on Saturday Night Live in November 2009, he made an appearance as Ozzy Osbourne in a skit called The Mellow Show. Bill Hader impersonated Matthews in the same skit. Matthews was also a cast member and performer in the popular music documentary Before the Music Dies. In 2018, Matthews guest starred on Pete the Cat as the voice of Gustavo's father, a platypus. Other activities. In 1999, Matthews purchased more than 10 acres of land in Albemarle County, Virginia, known as Blenheim Farm, to preserve its historical significance. He later decided to plant grapes on the property, since it is located within both the Virginia and Monticello viticultural areas. Blenheim Vineyards was founded in 2000, and currently produces 5,500 cases of wine per year, including its signature Petit Verdot and several special edition wines that have featured unique labels with drawings by Matthews. In 2011, Matthews collaborated with winemakers Steve Reeder and Sean Mackenzie in creating the Dreaming Tree wines. In April 2012, Matthews was credited as producer on the documentary Last Call at the Oasis, directed by Jessica Yu. In early 2013, Matthews participated in a jam session at Blade Studios in Shreveport, Louisiana, with Jacob Dylan, Charlie Sexton, Blade Studios co-owner Brady Blade, and Sexton's brother Will. This led to the formation of a band named The Noughts with Matthews, Dylan, Blade, and the Sexton brothers as members. However, there has been no news regarding an album release since that jam session. On the 16th of May, 2020, in the midst of the COVID-19 quarantine, Matthews appeared streaming on the virtual graduation ceremonies for the University of Virginia. He wished students his best and said it is now your small opportunity to make the world a better place, as you see fit. He then sang the song Singing from the Windows. Personal life. Dave Matthews married longtime girlfriend Jennifer Ashley Harper in 2000. They have twin daughters born in 2001, and a son born in 2007. They reside in Seattle. In a 2001 interview, Matthews stated that he was agnostic. 48. He joined the Farm Aid Board of Directors in 2001, to serve alongside fellow musicians Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp and Neil Young to raise money for family farmers in the United States. Political activism. Matthews published an internet video before the 2000 U.S. presidential election, urging viewers to vote without advocating any candidate. He mentioned only Ralph Nader by name, and updated fans about the recording sessions for every day. Although his music often explores political and social issues, Matthews refrained from public campaigning for presidential candidates until 2004. He cast his support strongly with Democratic nominee John Kerry, performing at political events including the Vote for Change tour. Matthews also supported Barack Obama for president in 2008, both in the primaries and in the general election. On the 6th of April, 2008, he and Tim Reynolds played a concert titled Change Rocks at Indiana University to encourage students to register to vote. The tickets were distributed by the Obama campaign. Questions regarding his citizenship were answered by advertisements and videos on YouTube, where he says he is a real American and a real Virginian, stating that real Virginians get out and vote. Although bereaved by the loss of band co-founder and saxophonist Leroy Moore on the 19th of August, 2008, he and Tim Reynolds played for the Democratic National Convention delegates on Sunday, the 24th of August, at Red Rocks, and again with Reynolds at Virginia Commonwealth University on the 26th of October, 2008, among other places. Matthews has often supported environmental initiatives, such as biofuel availability and the fight against global climate change. On the 21st of September, 2009, Matthews stated that some of President Barack Obama's harsher critics were motivated by his race, and stated that he sees it everywhere in the United States. Matthews is also a strong supporter of gay rights and participated in Love Unite's Shepherd Ferry Equality Project, a gay marriage advocacy project. On the 10th of May, 2012, Matthews entertained a sellout crowd at the Paramount Theater in Seattle where President Obama was hosting a campaign fundraiser. In a 28th of September, 2015, interview with Rolling Stone, Matthews performed at a San Francisco rally for Sanders during the 2016 presidential primaries and later, during the general election campaign. He was a major donor to the 2017 gubernatorial campaign of progressive Charlottesville politician Tom Perillo. On the 30th of October, 2021, Matthews performed at a Democratic Get Out the Vote event in Charlottesville, Virginia with gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe. During the 2022 election campaign, Matthews performed at campaign events for Democratic candidates Tim Ryan in Ohio and John Fetterman in Pennsylvania. During a Dave Matthews Band concert in Virginia Beach on the 15th of June, 2024, Matthews paused in the set to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. Awards and accolades. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Dave Matthews Band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2024. Grammy Awards. 1997 Best Rock Vocal Performance by a Duo or Group. So Much to Say. Dave Matthews Band. 2004 Best Male Rock Vocal Performance. Gravedigger. Dave Matthews. ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards. Most Performed Song from a Motion Picture. Where Are You Going? For Mr. Deeds. Dave Matthews was awarded DMA honoris causa by Haverford College on the 15th of May, 2005. 2002 Matthews was the recipient of the Orville Gibson Award for Best Acoustic Guitarist. Discography. Studio albums. Under the Table and Dreaming. 1994 Crash. 1996 Before These Crowded Streets. 1998 Everyday. 2001 Busted Stuff. 2002 Some Devil. 2003 Stand Up. 2005 Imagine We Were. 2005 as Tribe of Heaven, originally recorded in 1989. Big Whiskey and the Grugrux King. 2009 Away from the World. 2012 Come Tomorrow. 2018 Walk Around the Moon. 2023 Live Solo Albums. Live at Sweetbriar College. 2016, originally recorded in 1996. Digital downloads. 2 shows have been released as part of the Dave Matthews Band's DM Live series, available only for online download.